Welcome to A Better Life. I'm your host, Hank Hennigan, and I'm so excited to be interviewing and speaking with Mr. Greg Lirette. Hey, Greg, how you doing, brother?
Excellent. Thanks for having me, sir.
Yes, indeed. Good people watching A Better Life. Greg is running for U.S. District Congressman and District 2. Is that right, Greg?
That is correct.
All right, Greg. Tell the people watching A Better Life about yourself, where you're from, and what encouraged you to get involved and qualify for a race for District 2.
Sure. Happy to do so. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, indeed.
It's an honor to be here. So, my name is Greg Lirette. I was born at East Jefferson Hospital in Metairie, Louisiana. I grew up in Old Jefferson, right off La Barre, near Oxnard Hospital in Old Jefferson. At a very young age, I joined the United States military. I was in the United States Army, and I was an air traffic controller. Now, when I was a little bitty kid, I used to run my own BBS, bulletin board system on the computer on a Commodore 64. And while I was still in the military, I got into information technology. And it was just interesting to me. And I was in the field one day, and one of my sergeants said, "Do you understand the book?" Because I brought this big technical book with me into the field, and we're deployed in the military. And I thought they were giving me a hard time. I thought they were just razzing me.
Yeah.
And they say, "You need to get out of the Army and go do computers." And I thought they were giving me a hard time. And I was like, man, these guys just give me a hard time. How you turn on the pages of this book? You actually understanding what's in there? And I said, no, I really don't. It's confusing. And they said, but if you can turn the pages, you need to get out and do that. And I knew they were serious when they started hiring me to fix their computers.
Wow. Okay.
And so I was like, they're not giving me a hard time. They're being sincere.
Okay.
So I figured I could serve my country better by getting out and becoming an information technology professional. And I started down this career path of taking certification exams for Microsoft. And then I got another phone call that I thought was also a joke from Microsoft to hire me. And I told them that I wasn't qualified to work for them. And to my surprise, went through the interview process, and next thing you know, I'm working around all these smart people. And the next thing you know, I'm working on the toughest issues in the world, the toughest issues in the world for the largest customers in the world. And I was the senior point of escalation, resolving defects, code-level defects within Microsoft Windows.
You know what I found out about last week? The internet.
So I had no idea that information would take off like it did.
Yes.
I've always been into politics. As a little child, I campaigned for Reagan.
Yes.
As a little kid, I made up my own little signs and I wore them to school.
Good.
And so you probably couldn't do that today.
Well, I don't know.
You probably could do it today.
Too, yeah.
So after getting, so I was married, and I have two beautiful girls. My daughter does sign language. My brother is a medical doctor. He's one of the first people to be promoted to black belt in jiu-jitsu in New Orleans.
Wow.
He's one of the founders of NOLA BJJ. My sister is special needs. She's at Magnolia School for Disabled Adults.
Wow.
My father is elderly. Those are the reasons why I came back to New Orleans.
Okay.
So, and I...
All right, District 2.
District 2.
Greg, I can feel your heart for the people of New Orleans that you haven't grown up there. But tell the people watching A Better Life, about District 2, some of the things that you feel like that you need to address as a congressman.
Well, being such a tech guy, I see that we have always been 20 to 30 years behind the times in District 2.
Wow.
And we have a huge training issue. People that work for a service industry, for example, they're out of work, and what I say is unemployed or underemployed. If we can raise the technical level of these people, they don't need to be a tech guru like I am, but raise the technical level so they can get on a Zoom meeting or Microsoft Teams meeting or a GoToMeeting or whatever else, and we can employ these people for customer service roles or whatever it might be. And I'm not the greatest public speaker in the world. I could use training myself for public speaking.
I don't think you're afraid to speak, though.
I'm not afraid to speak. So, but we all need training, and that's training and education is the most critical issue in our district. We've had unemployment or underemployment in our district long before the pandemic.
Wow.
And the pandemic has just
Multiplied it.
multiplied it. But what if we get over the pandemic, when we get over the pandemic, and there's another one that comes along?
And you know, and so many people, there was an article in the newspaper this morning, so many people that are working for big corporations across the state and the nation that are working from home and doing their job. And a lot of these big corporations are just going, when pandemic ceases, they're just going to let them continue to work from home because of technology.
We were going that direction prior to the pandemic. We were already in that movement. Companies were already ready to, it's much cheaper for a company to have somebody work from home. So the pandemic forced it upon the companies sooner than they wanted it to. But in the second district, we are not equipped for that. We need to increase the technical knowledge of everybody in the nation. And I'm America First. I'm the only true America First candidate on the ballot. We need to spend money in America and Louisiana first,
Yes.
not overseas.
Overseas. Oh, yes. I mean, the thing that's happening now, the new thing that was signed and paying billions of dollars to other countries when it needs to happen in America.
And there are valid issues. I don't doubt that gender issues in Pakistan are important. I know they are. However, we have homeless people, homeless veterans on the streets here.
Yes, yes.
And we need to address that. And if we get ourselves to, we don't need to be the World Police Department.
No. I mean, we have to focus on America and our needs. And like we talked about before our show started, about, I mean, traffic issues, the infrastructure issues of the school issues,
Infrastructure is huge. Also, public transportation. I'd love to see us get to a place where Dallas is. You could make $150,000 a year right now in Dallas, or $200,000 a year. And many of those people drive to a DART station in Dallas Area Rapid Transit, who I was also a consultant for. They park their car, they take a train in, and they get off, drop downtown. And whether you might do Uber here a little bit, but we need to bring a higher level of public transportation, not just for the poor. It will benefit everybody.
When I was in high school, some of us friends, and we'd get on a train in Baton Rouge just to go to New Orleans and spend a day there, and then go to parks and all that, and then train back that night.
That's right. In the Pacific Northwest, people are taking Amtrak. In New York and the East District, they're taking trains all the time. We need to bring ourselves into this century.
Right.
Absolutely. And these are all issues that I'm going to help address.
Yes. Good people watching A Better Life. We're here with Greg Lirette. He's running for U.S. Congressman for District 2. And I can tell his heart is really excited.
Thank you, Vince.
To be, for you to go out and vote for him. And we'll be right back for a second segment of A Better Life. Thank you for watching.
Thank you guys so much.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to A Better Life, and I'm excited we're talking to Greg Lirette. Come on, let's give another handshake, Greg.
Absolutely, sir.
All right, our first segment.
I am vaccinated, by the way. I got both my vaccines, so I feel comfortable in doing that.
Good. Our first segment of our show today, Greg is just talking about his life being raised in New Orleans and being a military man and being a tech guru. So let's talk about District 2 and the heart of what's your heart regarding District 2, what needs to be really addressed. It could be education, it could be traffic, it could be, family. Just what's on your heart, Greg?
Well, all of those things. Education is huge. Traffic is huge. Crime is huge.
Crime.
And police reform is huge.
Yes.
Orleans Parish is a bulk of District 2. It's a very gerrymandered district that
Yes.
that goes all the way from Orleans to East and West Baton Rouge in a very strange manner, wrapping around Lake Pontchartrain. But Orleans Parish is under a very intense federal consent decree regarding law enforcement.
Wow.
They had no choice but to accept that consent decree, an agreed upon consent decree, or be sued and potentially taken over by federal or state policing.
And what is or what was the problem? I'm sure they're trying to address it now. What do you see there?
So there were multiple issues. There were glaring issues with regards to jail deaths, jail population, the way people were treated in jail.
I got you.
The reason for arrests, the use of force, police corruption, open corruption for years, inherent issues within both. And I know I'm being specific right now in Orleans when I talk about that, but there's similar issues that are other law enforcement agencies. I am for broken windows policing, and I'm
Broken windows policing.
broken windows policing.
Okay, explain that.
So let's take a city like New York, for example.
Yes.
And when Rudy Giuliani took over the policing in New York, and he enabled a broken windows policing policy where the person who jumped the turnstiles or robbed somebody on the subway, he either ticketed or arrested people there, are the same people that are committing other crimes throughout. And so you and I'm not trying to put people in a perpetual state of poverty. It's not the point. The point is that people that commit minor crimes often go on to commit more hardcore felonies.
And look, I got friends and family members. My grandfather was a retired policeman. So they put their lives on the line every day for the community that they serve. And look, but none of us are perfect, and there has to be changes. But they really get frustrated when they see someone committing a crime that they arrested 3 or 4 years ago that should be.
Well, the law enforcement officer is going to do so much, and the court system takes care of like what we need to do, and what cities like Plano, Texas do. And I don't mean to highlight Plano, Texas like it's the best city in the world, but as a person who wants to be hired in law enforcement, you would relocate to Plano to get a job there, and maybe you want to strive to be an FBI agent. And just like as an IT professional,
Right.
I started off at one place, went to Microsoft and Citrix, and I had training. Police officers or law enforcement officers, you could be a sheriff's deputy or some other agency,
Sure.
need a career path, and we need to pay them appropriately. The answer is not to defund the police. And my opponents, several of them, they come straight out and want to defund the police.
No way you need to defund the police. You got to
We need to
fund them properly.
appropriately
and yes.
and hold them accountable.
Accountable and with proper
So,
training
yeah.
that will really, and not that they don't get trained, I know they get very
They get
good
training.
but just really reinforce it. Okay, Greg, tell us again some other things that you see in District 2 that as congressman, if elected, you need to bring to the table and hope it gets addressed.
Well, the pandemic is huge. The pandemic is huge. I'm for antibodies opt-in testing. So you take your antibodies test. Once you take your antibodies test, if you are positive on antibodies, which many of us are, I am at this point because I'm vaccinated, you can opt in. I'm going to introduce legislation on day 1 or 2 in office that's going to be drafted by my full-time attorney that's going to allow you to publish your results and allow you to go back to work freely and easily. And my opponents who argue that they are following the science won't have much rebuttal because the science follows this. Also, for the citizens of District 2, I'm going to have a mobile office that goes around the various parishes to meet with you. And if you cannot meet in a mobile office, if you feel uncomfortable because you haven't received your vaccine,
Yeah.
if you have a need to speak to me directly and you cannot meet in the mobile office, we're going to ship you a tablet so you can have a one-on-one meeting. That's assuming that you may not be savvy with Zoom or Microsoft Teams or what have you. I'm going to, being a tech guy, I'm going to have server space fully approved inside of the authorized congressional areas of the server room. I've already got people working on the implementation plan for this.
Okay, good.
And we're going to have social media to connect with us.
Yes.
You're never going to receive a dial tone, you're never going to receive a busy signal. When you call the line, I'm only allowed to hire between 14 and 18 full-time people. So you can't always get somebody in the office. It's going to be outsourced by people in Louisiana.
Yes.
That are going to always take the call.
Hire Louisiana people, put them to work.
I'm going to take part of my budget, $1 point something million, and we're going to hire Louisiana people with that budget.
We talked about the elongated district, of District 2 from New Orleans up the river, goes through all the parishes of the river, and then up to North Baton Rouge, East Baton Rouge Parish. I mean, that's a lot of area for you to be over as congressman, and I really admire you for putting your name on the line
Thank you.
to qualify for the race. And so the voting is this Saturday, March 20th, and if you haven't voted, get out there and vote.
Absolutely. So I just received relatively good news that very few people have voted in early voting.
Wow.
That just ended March 13th.
Right.
We have a very low voter turnout. I knew it'd be low, but this is much lower than expected. People are going to turn out in force, and we're going to have a victory party, and you're invited at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in New Orleans. On Saturday night, join me at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. Come grab me, and we're going to have a great time to bring in this election.
There you go. Greg, you're pumped, and I love your I love your tenacity to speak, and I think
You're pumped too.
All right, good people watching A Better Life. We'll be right back. Thank you for watching, and we're going to hear Greg and his closeout statements of why he's running for U.S. Congressman for District 2 here in the state of Louisiana. We'll be right back. Welcome back to A Better Life. We're here talking with Mr. Greg Lirette of New Orleans, and he's running for U.S. Congressman of District 2. And as we were talking, Greg, District 2 runs from New Orleans up the river, the parishes that face the river, and then into northern Baton Rouge. And so tell the people watching A Better Life, what is it the top 3 or 4 things as congressman, if you're elected, that we need to change, and then good people, the election is this Saturday. It's actually March the 20th. So get out to vote.
So I am the logical choice to be elected. I am not a career politician. I am a lifelong computer expert. I claim to be a cybersecurity expert. And I was like, you know what? That's kind of a bold statement. Who claims to be a cybersecurity expert? I should probably take a test to validate my skills. So I just did that. I just obtained this week, I'm now Security Plus certified, in addition to 33 Microsoft certification exams, MCITP, MCSE, in addition to my CompTIA A+, I am Security Plus certified. I am a certified cybersecurity expert.
So being that, how will that affect the people in District 2?
Technology has taken over all of our lives.
Yes.
The CEO of some of these big tech companies are more powerful than the President of the United States.
Oh yeah, when they can shut the president from being off on Twitter, I mean, big deal.
When I made a tweet, when I hit send on a tweet, there was a test tweet. I wasn't trying to get information out. I was doubting that a news article was correct. It stated that information about Hunter Biden's laptop that was being published was being censored on Twitter 100%. I thought the article was false. I did a test tweet, not to a video, but to the root domain. When I hit send, my entire Twitter locked For 12 hours, I was censored.
Wow.
Straight up censored.
Wow.
I-
Free speech.
I appeal. This is prior to the presidential election. Prior to it, I appealed it. And after many people came out on Twitter, they reversed their decision. They backed it out. They said it was a mistake. They shouldn't have done it. The night that Biden got elected, there were protests in Portland. Biden thought he had Antifa on his side, and they immediately protested him. You cannot give in to the far left extreme terrorists.
Come on. All right, Greg. We got about 5 minutes to close out our show here.
So I'm bringing big tech.
Yes.
I'm bringing technical skills to Congress, which doesn't exist. I can go toe to toe with big tech. You cannot avoid my questions because I'm trained by Microsoft how to interrogate you and get to the bottom of it.
Good.
I'm trained by them.
Okay. Give us, we've got 5 minutes here. Close out and, your heart, why you running, a little bit more about your background, and when is, we know the voting is this Saturday, March the 20th in District 2, U.S. Congressman. Good people watching A Better Life. I just feel Greg's heart, so tell us about.
Well, I'm for the people of the district. I'm for the entire nation. I'm the only America First, the true patriot America First running. Whether you're black, white, Asian, doesn't matter what you are, what sex you are, or your sexual orientation. We are a unique family here in Southern Louisiana. We need to support each other. Doesn't matter what party you are. I support education, family, God, country.
Come on.
Putting us back to work. Putting us back to work. Let's come back stronger than we ever have before. Let's amaze the nation. Let's raise our technical bar. Let's bring more high-tech companies in and employ our citizens.
Yes.
Let's have people come out and say, I would love to hear somebody say, you know what? I didn't know anything about technology, but now I have this great customer service job and I'm making over $100,000 a year.
Come on.
Let's have some statements like that in Southern Louisiana.
Yes.
We can do it.
Yes. So getting back to, I know you're a tech guru and you're certified and all that. Getting down to the basics of putting men and women and college students and non-college to work, what is the key for that in Louisiana?
The key is education, training, and entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Entrepreneurship and protecting the small business. Many of my opponents will say we need to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and that sounds great.
They're going to shut down half the small businesses.
Yes. And if you have the proper training, $15 an hour, roughly $30,000 a year, that's way too low. If you follow my plan and take some training, the people that I mentor personally, no one that I mentor makes less than $100,000 a year.
I was talking to someone the other day, Greg, when I grew up in North Baton Rouge here, by the time you were in the 9th grade, they knew you were college bound or you needed to learn a craft, a welder, pipe filler, or something that's going to work in the plants up and down
That's right.
the river. And when you do that, once you find your passion, you'll become the best at it, and people will pay for the best. Just find out what your passion is.
Find out what you're passionate about it, and any good employee should have a goal to put themselves out of work. If you always work to put yourself out of work, you will always have a job.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
Yeah. So the people in the district, we have people that are starving. We have people that are homeless. We're going to end homelessness.
Yes.
We need to stop spending this money overseas until we have ourselves together.
Keep it
Take
local.
care of America and Louisiana first.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. All right, good people watching A Better Life. Greg, just give a closeout statement about, again, about your background, your life, your family, and why should people watching A Better Life that live in District 2 vote for Greg Lirette? And what is your number on the ballot?
I'm number 11 on the ballot. My website is lirettecongress.com. For donations directly, you can go to greg2021.com. It's not too late to give your support, turn out voters. I came back to New Orleans because I have a special needs sister that's currently at Magnolia School for Disabled Adults. My father is elderly. My sister just recovered from COVID. I wanted to be closer to my family.
Yes.
That's why I'm back here in New Orleans for many years now. Born and bred here. After my time in the military, after working for Microsoft, Citrix, and Dell, I'm back in New Orleans. I know the people in district well. Many of you know me. You know what I'm like. You've seen me, and if you haven't, one of your friends has. So ask them about me. Feel free to email us, call us, reach out. I'll answer any question. There's no question that I will not answer, regardless of. I go to NAACP meetings.
Yes.
I'm a member now of the NAACP,
Wow,
by the way.
that's good.
Yes.
That's
So
good.
I just
Yes.
joined it, and so any question, you may not like my answer, but I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to address it head on.
All right, good people watching The Better Life. Like I said, I feel Greg's heart for running for U.S. Congressman District 2. The voting is this Saturday, March the 20th. If you live in District 2, get out and vote. And there's many candidates, but I fear and hear Greg's heart, and I know he's a District 2 man all the way, born and raised there, and want to do what's best for, like you said, for the people living in District 2 and in Louisiana. All right, thank you for watching A Better Life.